The year is 1925. The sun rises over the Gulf of Tajura, illuminating French Somaliland, a land shaped by heat, sea, and ancient rhythms. Djibouti City is a lively port, a crossroads of trade connecting Europe and Asia through the Suez Canal. Whitewashed buildings stand out against the arid plains, and the air is thick with salt, spices, and the scent of camels. The Afar and Isa peoples, mostly pastoral nomads, move with the seasons, their lives tied to the land and their herds. For centuries, Afar nomads have harvested salt here, forming caravans that trek into Ethiopia. The Ethio-Djibouti Railway links the coast to Ethiopia, bringing goods and influence, modernity cutting through wilderness. In 1925, the ancient and the modern coexist in uneasy balance. Through the 1930s and 1940s, French Somaliland's strategic value grew as global tensions rose. Djibouti's port became a military outpost, guarding the Bab el-Mandeb Strait, a choke point for world trade. French investments served their own interests, not the local people. World War II brought hardship. After France fell, the colony sided with Vichy, leading to an Allied blockade and severe shortages. The experience exposed the territory's vulnerability and dependence on distant powers. After the war, French Somaliland became an overseas territory, granting limited citizenship and political representation. Two main political factions emerged, the Issa, favoring ties with Somalia, and the Afar, preferring continued association with France. These divisions would shape politics for decades. The 1950s and 60s saw rising activism as African colonies gained independence. A 1958 referendum kept the territory with France, but the result was disputed. President de Gaulle's 1966 visit sparked mass demonstrations for independence. In 1967, the territory was renamed to acknowledge both Afar and Issa, but tensions persisted. The desire for self-determination was growing stronger, setting the stage for change. The path to independence was turbulent, shaped by internal divisions and outside interests. Nationalist movements rose in the late 1960s and 70s, some backed by Somalia, pushed for unification. Others, led by Hassan Guled Abdidoon, envisioned a multi-ethnic, independent Djibouti. International pressure mounted. France, Somalia, and Ethiopia all had stakes in Djibouti's future. Ethiopia, reliant on the port, feared Somali control. Hassan Guled Abdidoon built coalitions, bridging the Afar-Issa divide and promoting Djibouti as a neutral regional hub. By the mid-1970s, unrest and diplomacy forced France to allow a referendum. On May 8, 1977, the people voted overwhelmingly for independence. June 27, 1977, the French flag was lowered and Djibouti's new flag was raised. After more than a century of colonial rule, Djibouti was finally free. A new nation was born, ready to chart its own course. Independence brought hope and daunting challenges. Djibouti was small, with few resources beyond its port and salt. President Hassan Guled Abdidoon faced the task of uniting Afar and Issa and building a viable state in a volatile region. The new republic joined the UN, OAU, and Arab League, seeking international recognition and security. France remained a key partner, providing aid and a military presence that deterred aggression from Somalia and Ethiopia. Internally, the government promoted a national identity: unite, égalité, pays, separate from Somali or Ethiopian roots. In 1981, Guled declared a one-party state, arguing it was needed to prevent ethnic conflict, but it also stifled dissent. Regional turmoil, war and famine in neighboring countries, sent refugees into Djibouti, straining resources but earning international goodwill. Djibouti became a haven of stability in the Horn of Africa. The early years tested the nation's unity and resilience. Djibouti's open-door policy for refugees further integrated it into the global community. The country's survival depended on pragmatism, diplomacy, and a fragile peace at home. The foundations of modern Djibouti were laid in these formative years. The nation's journey had only just begun. Hassan Guled Abdidoon led Djibouti for over 2 decades, balancing ethnic tensions and centralizing power. His governing from the middle approach aimed to keep Afar and Issa interests in check, but came at the cost of political freedom. The one-party state brought stability, but opposition was suppressed. In the early 1990s, Afar discontent erupted into civil war. The Fruidi insurgency threatened national unity. After years of conflict, a peace accord in 1994 brought some rebels into government. Gould cautiously reintroduced multi-party politics, but his party remained dominant. In 1999, he stepped down, passing power to his nephew, Ismail Omar Guelleh. Goulard's legacy? The father of the nation, a unifier but also an authoritarian. Djibouti survived its most perilous years through strong leadership and compromise. The challenge of forging a true national identity continued. The foundations for a stable, if imperfect democracy were set. Djibouti's story was far from over. Djibouti's landscape is as dramatic as its history, shaped by the meeting of three tectonic plates at the Afar Triple Junction. The result: sunken plains, active volcanoes, and vast salt flats. Lake Assal, Africa's lowest point, is a surreal salt-encrusted crater, center of the ancient salt trade. Lake Abe, with its steaming limestone chimneys, borders Ethiopia and looks almost lunar. The Gulf of Tajura's coral reefs teem with life, supporting fishing and attracting divers from around the world. Whale sharks visit seasonally, making Djibouti a magnet for marine scientists. The harsh environment shaped nomadic traditions, deep knowledge of land and survival passed down for generations. Today, the same extremes offer new opportunities: renewable energy from sun and wind, and sustainable tourism. Agriculture is limited, but the land's uniqueness is a resource in itself. Djibouti's people have always adapted to their environment. The land's challenges and gifts continue to shape the nation's destiny. Nature remains a central character in Djibouti's unfolding story. The future will depend on balancing tradition, innovation, and the land's enduring power. In a century, Djibouti has transformed from a land of nomads to a bustling urban society. Today, most people live in Djibouti City, a melting pot of cultures and ambitions. Education and healthcare have expanded since independence, empowering a new generation. The University of Djibouti, founded in 2006, marks a milestone in higher education. Women's roles have grown, now visible in government, business, and civil society. Grassroots efforts have advanced female empowerment and opportunity, yet challenges remain. Poverty, unemployment, and urban pressures test the nation's resilience. The cost of living is high, and many struggle to bridge the gap between the global port economy and daily life. Djiboutians are adapting, drawing on centuries of resilience to build a better future. The shift from nomadism to modernity is ongoing. The city's energy and diversity are shaping a new national identity. The journey from tradition to modernity is both a challenge and a source of strength. Ismail Omar Guelleh became president in 1999, shifting focus to economic transformation. His vision made Djibouti a logistics and trade hub for the Horn of Africa. Massive foreign investment, especially from China, fueled new ports, free zones, and infrastructure. The Doraleh port complex and a modern railway to Ethiopia have redefined the nation's economy. Djibouti is now a key node in China's Belt and Road Initiative. Its stability attracted foreign military bases, US, France, China, Japan, and Italy, making it a center of global security interests. These bases bring revenue and security, but also geopolitical risks. Political stability has been maintained, but democracy and human rights remain contentious. Guelleh has extended his rule through constitutional changes. Opposition claims elections are not fully free. The government argues strong leadership is needed to avoid past ethnic conflict and oversee development. Djibouti's transformation is remarkable, but its political system remains tightly controlled. The nation stands at the intersection of opportunity and challenge. The next steps will define Djibouti's place in the world. In August 2025, Djibouti stands transformed, a modern city-state and global trade hub. The vision become the Singapore of Africa, built on services, trade, and finance. Plans include expanding ports, developing finance, and investing in digital infrastructure. Renewable energy, solar and wind, offers hope for sustainable growth. The challenge ensuring prosperity reaches all citizens, reducing unemployment and raising living standards. Heavy reliance on foreign investment and military bases requires careful diplomacy. Climate change threatens the coast and water resources. Political succession and greater openness remain pressing issues. The nation's youth are its greatest asset and its greatest challenge. Djibouti's future will be shaped by adaptation, unity, and resilience. The journey from 1925 to 2025 is one of extraordinary change. The next chapter is unwritten, but the land and its people will continue to define Djibouti's destiny. The story of Djibouti is far from over. its greatest achievements may still lie ahead.